Ducati here. If you wanted the perfect build for Season 4, like, we got it. This build hits the entire trifecta. It deletes everything, tanks like a champ, functions on every budget. You couldn't have anything that plays any smoother. Let's take a look at some mapping. Alright, now I promised a budget version of the build, and so we are going to shop for a budget version of the build here. We have 1 divine to spend, we have no gear equipped, so we're going to be buying everything. The first thing we're going to need to do with this 1 divine is convert it over to exalted orbs, because those are the prevailing currency right now. So we have these exalted orbs. Now I will have trade links posted so that you can see these and edit them and do some shopping yourself. They're all just very generic trade links. Some of these we're going to prioritize more than others in our budget. We'll talk about that as we go. So first thing, Helm. Helm, we want high ES, high mana ideally, and crit chance and some res on it. So this one is great. This one is great. These are getting down into the more expensive ones. This one looks like a steal, so we will grab this helmet. Thank you, Asynchronous Trade, for making our shopping experience better. We appreciate you very much. God bless. Alright, second is our staff. On our staff, ideally we would want a 20 level of Scattering Calamity, but that's out of budget. So we're going to go with a 19. We want additional proj, cast damage, spell damage, cause life, and enemies suffer cast res. 1 for 5x is good. 264, 204, 75, 43. 43 is low. 57, 268, 283. This one's good. 10 exalted orbs. It's corrupted. Be careful. But it has 2 open sockets on already. So that's good. 10x, great staff. Guy's got a bunch of them. Take your staff, sir. We have a few extra skill points here on our tree because we pulled these over here. We are going to need to take Eldritch Battery, which means we need to path down through here. We're not going to be able to reach Arcane Intensity. We'll figure that out in a second.
I'm a simple man, but I can improve.
Still can't equip that yet.
Nothing is set in stone.
There we go. Alright, so we got our staff equipped. Second we're going to shop for is an Original Sin. We just want an Original Sin with 100% LE damage converted. 25 chaos. You can look for one that has like the most total chaos res here that fits your budget. So we can just come in here and like set a 25... Sorry, exalted orbs, not chaos. And then put a weighted sum of chaos res on here. And then just sort by sum. This one's got 31 chaos res. It's the best one for us. It's not corrupted. You could take that and corrupt it. 25 exalted orbs. I'm used to PoE1 speak here. Next thing, I'm going to pull body armor up next. Good body armor is important. We need 60 spirit minimum coming from our body armor because there's no way we're going to be able to afford an amulet with spirit and spells on it. Probably just most max life and still have enough ES to be ES. So this one is good. 15x. Good max. It's got no other res on it. If it had a res on it, like this one has res and strength and life. But it's 209 equipped with runes. This calculator does not count in the runes, so we probably don't want that one. Looks like this is still going to be the best one. We're just not going to get res out of our body armor, it looks like. This one could be desecrated. One's got strength and could be desecrated. Tough decisions. This one can be exalted and desecrated. And it does not have the sockets filled. So I think we'll go with this one. Now, we would prefer ES armor, but ES armor is so prohibitively expensive that we're not going to be able to utilize that. And we are going to get strength from a belt, so let's go ahead and grab our belt next. And we're just looking for total res. We need life, we want mana, we want strength. Like you could sort this by a sum and get the best value, but this one's just 10x and it hits our search priority, so we're just going to take that one. Has one charm slot, kind of sucks. But that's okay. This last one is a staunching charm. That's not terribly important. We'll just eat a bleed every once in a while. It allows us to equip our body armor. Next up on the chopping block is our generic ring. We are just looking for a generic ring with max life, max mana, and a lot of res on it. We'll set a budget of maybe 10 exalted orbs here. There's 7 of these that fit the budget. You can sort by life, mana, or total res. I think res might be a challenge. This one is catalyzed for defensive modifiers. Weirdo. Just looking to see if there's anything that has like an extra stat, like chaos res would be nice. Nothing exceptional there. All of them have about the same res, about the same life. This one stands out with mana though, so we'll take the mana one. It's also got dex on it. Not that we need dex. Is there one with better than dex? No, sir. And we do need to keep an eye on our res. Obviously, we still need all reses, so just a ring with res is good. This has all 3, so that is ideal. You can see we're getting close on fire, so we probably want to avoid a lot of fire res going forward. So as we're looking at our searches, we'll make sure that we're not getting something with a lot of fire res on it. We are looking for gloves now. Our gloves, we want elemental resistance, max mana, crit damage bonus, and energy shield on them. We can sort these any way that we want to, but we're going to set like a 10x budget on this because we want to save some money for our amulet. Total res is probably important. Not a big change there as far as the total res that's available out there. So next thing to look at would be mana contribution. This one has 29 mana. This one also has max life on it. It's evasion ES. We aren't going to be able to hit the dex on that. So we'll pull mana off of the search for now and just see if we can get something with high ES. ES and mana are the same thing to us. This one has good res on it. Cold and lightning, we both need ES. It's another evasion ES though. Boo. Fire and lightning, not ideal. Fire and cold. Cold and lightning. And an open prefix for a desecrate. Those are good. Keep an eye out for those open affixes for desecrations. Basic desecrating of an item is virtually free. Such a low cost. Cold res we're suffering a lot on, and lightning is ideal. So on our boots, we're going to be looking for cold and lightning. A whole lot of booties out there. Something with maybe a little bit more ES on it. Fire and lightning. Cold. Cold and lightning, but not a big roll. Let's dial back our ES a little bit. Maybe dial up our total LE res. And then just for this, we'll go not fire res. This one shows up really strong. Good movement speed, good max mana, good ES, cold and lightning, reduced shock duration we don't care about. This one has int on it, but no max mana. Or should I say, the only int it's coming from is max mana. I think we're going to be fine on stats. Yeah, we're fine on stats. So we will grab this one. 20x for our boots. Not too shabby. Go ahead and remove that just for future peoples. This leaves us with, I don't know. Game couldn't put all these, the game could not spend out of these in order because it's stupid. $100, 218x left for jewels and our amulet. We've got all of our basic gear. We're still a little short on fire and cold res, so we'll be using sockets for fire and cold res, which is perfectly fine for the low budget version of the build. However, on our jewels, we just want to get some generically good jewels. So we're just looking for a minimum of 25 total weighting, an emphasis on cast speed and crit chance. And then we're going to sort by weight. We have just a very low budget of 3x per jewel. This one is great. We'll go buy this one. We need 4 of these. What? Why did it? I don't even know. I can't even with the way this game does stuff. Grab that one. Grab this one. And finally this one. Flag in this guy's hideout. Go socketing. Let's get out of this guy's laggy hideout. Because it's totally logical to make us go to a different world server to buy an item. Alrighty. We are good on our jewels. We are good on our gear. The last step is our amulet. We have at least 200... 210 exalted orbs left for our amulet. So we'll set our amulet budget for 200 exalted orbs. And we have a set of sums here. The first one is we want max mana and max life on our jewel, on our amulet. A sum total of, well, we'll say 150 between those because we're going to try to pick up some damage. And then we have a minimum weighted sum of 20 just to help weed out some really bad ones. But we're looking for spell damage, crit damage bonus, cast speed. We're going to give these arbitrary weights. These are not the exact weights. These are just feels weights. Like, it feels good to have that kind of range. And then we'll sort this. So this one looks good. Plus flat max energy shield is good. That gives us mana. Cast speed, increased mana regeneration rate, has max life on it. This is a solid one. This one is cast speed with dex on it. We don't care about dex, but it has to have max mana. We can come in here and include total energy shield here, which I forgot about. Still sorting by the damage contribution. We're going to set our damage contribution at maybe 70. Since the items that fall within our budget fit there. And then we're going to sort our defensive contribution. And it's about the same. So now we're going to look individually each item, because we got this down to 4. So this amulet is a good mix of life, mana, energy shield. It's got cast speed. It's got dex on it, which is a dead suffix for us. Mana regeneration is not a dead suffix, so that's good. Damage taken recouped as life is basically dead, and dex is dead. This one is corrupted, however, so we would not be able to anoint this one. Which leaves us with this guy right here. It's more defensive, less offensive, but it is cast speed, which is very good. Dex doesn't do anything good for us in particular, so we will take the Crimson Ammy. It's got that 2.1 life regen. Most importantly, +2 of all spell skills. Then we got a little bit of Exalted Orbs left. So let's come over here. We need a Armour Desecrate. Only 4 Exalted Orbs for an Armor Desecrate. We're going to use this on our gloves. Yeah, our gloves. See if we get lucky there. Buy the correct rib. Which literally costs less.
I'll fill that in as soon as I can.
For the sake of honesty in the video, we're going to throw that one back in the bank. And take our 4 Exalted Orbs back. Desecrate your armor. We can desecrate this armor as well. I know this one's going to cost us 3. Our helmet is filled. Our ring is filled. We cannot desecrate this. Our ammy is filled. Our boots corrupted. Our belt is filled. So we have 2 desecrations to look at there. Need to add a socket there. We're not going to count the value of that in here. We are going to need some fire and some cold res. And at least 1 more cold res. Puts us at nearly capped on the elemental res, which is good enough for us here. We would like a venomous rune of spinning, if that fits the budget. They're 8 exalted orbs, but we more specifically want this one, which is 18x. This is a critical one. Definitely going to spend on that one. For the final socket on the staff, we can just do a 30% increase spell damage here. Take our spinning rune here. That in our gloves. Everything is looking good. Let's go hit our desecrates up and see if we get lucky. Gloves first. Max life. Couldn't ask for a better option. Go get it, boy. Fetch. Yeah. Got some life. That'll be very solid. And then on our body armor here, 24% lightning res, or damage taken recouped as mana. Lightning res would give us an option to move stuff around, but the damage taken recouped as mana is actually very comfortable for the build. Go ahead and slam it. We got some strength out of the slam. Not a big deal. Still solid on stats. Everything there looks good. Now, for the sake of fairness, I did 4-link everything, and I pulled all of our lineage supports out. Our In Time of Need does need a little bit more strength, but we don't need any dex for this version of the build. So we're going to go strength here, and then we're going to go ahead and roll all of our dex off into int. Strength would give us life, but we have plenty of life. We would like more mana, and int gives us mana. So we can roll all that dex off to int, which will give us a little bit larger mana pool to work with. We're not going to be using Blasphemy in this version of the build because we don't have the spirit for it. We'll pull our Blasphemy out. There we go. Now, we do need a Shone's Temper. Which is going to cost us most of our remaining Exalted Orbs there. It's a very important lineage support for his Scattering Calamity. Basically, what it allows you to do is whenever you are firing, it will create wild shards, and those wild shards will fire out in a circle if it procs. So you get 1 wild shard per cast, and then a 20% chance for it to shoot out in a circle. When it shoots out in a circle, that also means that it fires 1 additional forward projectile. So it's basically a 20% chance for an additional forward projectile plus some circular projectiles. Now we only have 57 on our staff. That's actually a 57 plus 25 is 82. Plus 18 is 100, so 100% chance for extra proj. You may need to go 1 more if you get a lower roll on your staff's extra projectile. Everything else in our build from the high budget build should remain the same. I don't think that we need to make any changes. Whispers of Doom, we're not using Blasphemy, so that doesn't have any real value. We can remove Whispers of Doom and stick it somewhere else more useful. Not that we have a lot of options here right now, because we did not go down to here. We could come up and get Arcane Intensity by borrowing from the point there, though. And that would be good. Arcane Intensity is a significant amount of damage for us. Now, for the rest of our supports on his Scattering Calamity. So on the high budget build on his Scattering Calamity, we used Esh's Radiance, Shone's Temper, Blindside, and Diala's Desire. Obviously, we don't have access to all of those lineage supports, so instead, we're going to go with a Lightning Mastery, which is very good. We're going to go with a Considered Casting, which is also very good. And we're going to go with a Zenith. Now, you could go with Rapid Casting too instead of Zenith, but Zenith is much more damage. The only difference is you lose that damage bonus whenever you're not at 90% of your mana. Now, we don't spend mana, but we do get hit. And so if you're getting hit, you're going to lose a little bit of your damage. But for the most part, that's a massive bonus on clear. And versus bosses, we're not really getting hit that much. And so we don't need that additional damage versus bosses. This puts us at about an 80k tooltip on his Scattering Calamity. So not too shabby. About half of the tooltip damage of our other build, which we have fully put together. We still have 4 chain base from the build. 44% crit chance will be more than enough to trigger cast on critical. Now, we do need... I did forget one thing here. We need a Wicked Quill for our weapon swap. The Wicked Quill is essentially free. 1 Regal Orb. I'm sure you have a Regal Orb. But we also need an Effigy. We might go into debt for the Effigy, because I forgot about it. But that's okay. It'll be like 2 Exalted Orbs into debt. No, we can get one for... We want 2 stacks. We had 2 stacks? We get 2 stacks? 2 stacks? Boom, we can get 2 stacks. There we go. Dark Effigy, very important for our weapon swap, along with our Quill. We are 1 div with 5 Exalted Orbs in reserve. Build is complete. Everything looks good. Everything should be good in the game. Make sure everything works. We don't need that on our bar. Again, the links we're running are going to be His Scattering Calamity with Shone's Temper, Lightning Mastery, considered casting in Zenith 2, Despair with Heightened Curse, Curse Ground, Ritualistic Curse, and Magnified Area, Thunderstorm with Shock Conduction, Coursing Current, Overcharge and Commiserate, Firestorm with Blind, Prolonged Duration, Withering Touch, and Extraction, Cast on Crit with Comet, Blindside, Efficiency, and Boundless Energy, Mana Remnants with Harmonic Remnants and Remnant Potency, and Compressed Duration on our In Time of Need. Our passive tree is only mildly different from the high budget version of the build, but again, we come over here. Weapon Swap 1 is for Near at Hand, Forthcoming, and our Reduced Skill Duration here. Weapon Swap 2 is for Tides of Change, Master of Hexes, Lingering Whispers, and some additional Curse Magnitude here. We are coming over and taking full life conversion so that we don't spend any mana on any of our spells. Crit, 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 and crit here, along with some additional cast speed here, and some chaos damage, and most notably, enemies you curse have minus 3% chaos res. Extra points spent here go towards a little bit of cast speed and spell damage. If you are lower level in the build, you would pull from these nodes, probably this crit wheel right here. Lastly, Overzealous, and if you're still even lower level, probably from some of these crit nodes that are spread out around here. So you can get this rolling on a fairly early level for the build. This is where we are right now. Let's go ahead and do a powerful boss. Let's do an 8 mod corrupted map with a bunch of nasty mods on it. See how she flies. Playstyle doesn't change at all. You spam His Scattering Calamity. Everybody loves a one-button build. One-button builds everywhere. You generally want to not be tanking a lot of hits. You are relatively tanky, but you are so far from perfectly tanky. And there we had just a rare that had a reduced recovery. But basically, you're just going to run around and spam His Scattering Calamity. Everything should die. Chains and explosions are very strong. If you hit 2 targets that are standing next to each other, they take a tremendous amount of extra damage. If you notice that you are constantly low on mana because you're taking too many hits, again, you might want to pull Zenith off of your Link so that you can avoid losing that damage from being low on mana, and instead take Rapid Casting or some other damage node that would be a benefit to you. Now I am noticing that we might have a little too much cast speed on this version of the build here. Go take a look. 0.28. We do. We have a little more cast speed than I anticipated us to have. So Zenith is going to come off anyway. This is an important note when you're putting your build together. There is a breakpoint on your His Scattering Calamity. Because we generate 3 charges every time we fire the skill, we need to be able to send those 3 charges out. And there is a duration launch minimum of 0.1 seconds. We're at 0.28 without Arcane Surge up, and we have Arcane Surge on crit. And so that's not going to work for us. So we're going to pull this out. That'll push down to 0.06. Now, during Arcane Surge, will be like 0.26 cast time, which means we can release 3 charges from our well sprites in 0.18 seconds, which is less than about 0.26. So it is important to keep an eye on that whenever you're playing your character. You'll notice it because you'll be way overstacked on your well sprites as you're flying around. And it'll feel a little clunky. And so you can see this one looks and feels much smoother now than the other one did as we're going through it. And when you get these like abysses, drop a curse on them. If it's a particularly nasty abyss, you can also drop your thunderstorm or your firestorm on it, but usually a curse is More than enough. But these trees are blocking us here. Best shrine in the game is Move Speed Shrine. Those are Abyssal Depths. Let's go find the boss and we can come back to our Abyssal Depths afterwards. Now for a boss DPS, you want to get everything down and start spamming. Use your life flask to top your life off in between comet spams. So like if you run out of life in order to trigger your comets, you can use your life flask again to top that off. I didn't use it, but you can also use your mana flask to top off your mana while you're mapping. Now I do want to point one thing out real quick as an add into the video. You'll notice we were not getting mana remnants on the map, even though we have mana remnants in our skill list. This is still important, but without the lineage support on his Scattering Calamity that allows chaos damage to shock, we are only generating ailments on the boss. Now this is still going to be important to us because boss fights could take a little bit longer and you want to be generating mana remnants by critical hitting a target that has an elemental ailment on it. During mapping, if you are running low on mana, you can drop a lightning storm and it will immediately trigger mana remnants for you to collect. But later on, once you do have the lineage support that allows chaos damage to shock, then your Scattering Calamity will be the one triggering all of your mana remnants. As you can see, the clear is phenomenal. The single target is insane. That was a +10 boss on a fully 8 modded T15 map in a level 80 area on a 1 div budget. That is phenomenal damage. So comfy. Very tanky. We got a little sketchy there early on because we did not have our compressed duration on, which we needed. But very, very strong build. Thank you very much for watching. If y'all have any questions over anything, come by Twitch, ask. This is the low budget version of the build, specifically designed to be very low budget. You can scale it up as much as you want to from here with lineage supports, better items, more skills. We're running 4 links on everything. You could 5 link everything. We're running a level 19 his Scattering Calamity. You can run a level 20 his Scattering Calamity. There are tons of options for improvements on the build, but for 1 div, this can do every ounce of content in the game and feel very, very good doing it. Y'all have a wonderful day. Peace.